Saints get their quarterback of the future, Spencer Rattler, taken 150th overall by the Saints. We are going to watch an interview with him, his first interview as a Saint with New Orleans Football. Of course, they have all the coverage, all the deep, detailed Saints coverage. Look at this. I mean, this is what you want to see from your quarterback right here. No art, nothing on the walls, one bed, one bath. He don't need nothing else. Just bought that hat at Lids in the mall next to Auntie Anne's for $12. This is where you want to see your quarterback right here. Is he worried about decor? No. Is he worried about interior decorating? No. Is he worried about a TV? No. He's worried about one thing and one thing only: X's and O's, learning the team, learning the concepts. This is what I like to see from my quarterback, from Spencer Rattler.
What do you make of the pick, or what do you make of the selection, and finally hearing your name called?
Very excited, very blessed. This has been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. Just blessed to be here, blessed that the Saints picked me.
Big true. Couldn't agree more. We are blessed. Let me tell you this right now. I love the pick. And this is how you do it, Atlanta. Like, someone call Atlanta. Someone call Arthur Blank. This is how you do it. This is how you get a developmental quarterback behind a franchise quarterback on a big deal. Let them sit and then hopefully let them take over. Spencer Rattler, 2 years ago, okay, Spencer Rattler has had quite the journey. 2 years ago, he is the consensus #1 prospect coming out of high school in the nation, all right? And we'll get to that. It doesn't sound like it's important, but I will tell you why that is important. Goes to Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley knows a thing or two about quarterbacks, right? Chosen by Lincoln Riley to be his starting quarterback. Beats out Caleb Williams. We know how good Caleb Williams is. Beats out Caleb Williams to be the starter in Oklahoma. Now, it doesn't work out, true, but going into that year, he was also the consensus favorite to win the Heisman. He was also the consensus favorite to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Obviously, that forecasting didn't work out. Then he gets humbled. Caleb Williams becomes the starter. Rattler transfers. Rattler goes to South Carolina, finishes things out in South Carolina. The reason I bring that up is because up until 2 days ago, when we took Spencer Rattler, or yesterday, up until then, it's there's a pattern of Saints developmental backup quarterbacks. Ian Book, Jake Haener, Garrett Grayson. What do they all do? They're all Drew Brees clones. They're all quote-unquote accurate passers, efficient passers, smart guy, kind of shorter in stature or smaller in stature, physically not exciting. They're all the same player, right? Spencer Rattler is not that. Spencer Rattler is a whole lot of physical tools, a whole lot of physical talent. He is a guy who comes with a bag of tricks that we haven't seen as a Saints quarterback in a long time, maybe ever. So I love the fact that he's a guy like Jake Haener, and you're going to hear me talk about Jake Haener a lot because he was perceived to be our developmental quarterback, which, by the way, I've been screaming for 6 months, maybe even longer, that Jake Haener is not in play to be a future quarterback. The timelines don't add up because of how Derek Carr's contract is structured, how Haener's rookie deal is structured. And then I was saying, if at any point we take a new young quarterback, whether it be Spencer Rattler, Michael Pratt, Jordan Travis, any of the guys we named coming into this draft, then Haener immediately is gone. He is immediately out of the picture. And that's exactly what happened. So there is no competition between Rattler and Haener. Haener is out the door, whether that means literally or figuratively. But Spencer Rattler right now, he is the successor to Derek Carr. He is the heir apparent to Derek Carr. It's his job to lose. And if he does lose the job, we will draft a new Spencer Rattler or sign a new Spencer Rattler, whatever, in the few years. But as far as the roster, Spencer Rattler is the next franchise quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. So him coming in and having that talent, having all of those physical tools, and the only concern is about his makeup or about his leadership or about any of that Ian Rappaport talked about. So Ian Rappaport came out and said that, well, let's go ahead and let's just watch it. Let's watch the Ian Rappaport. I have it pulled up for you guys.
Spencer Rattler did a reality show in high school. It's called QB1 Beyond the Lights. It did not make him look great. And it is unbelievable how many different teams mentioned to me the image of him in that show and how they can't get it out of their heads, which I think would be a public service announcement to all 17-year-olds. But it is fascinating as teams weigh whether or not to draft him.
Spencer Rattler did do a show. If you didn't watch it, it was like if you remember the show back in the day, Hoover with the Alabama high school team, and it was kind of similar to that. It was showing basically like a high school team, but it was like a reality show. So you heard a lot of the players talking to each other, a lot of locker room talk, a lot of, Spencer was dogging his teammates during practices, and him and the backup quarterback were always jawing at each other. He was 17 years old, all right? He was a brat. He was a brat at 17. Not surprising. He's the starting quarterback. He is the number one quarterback prospect at that time in the country. Yeah, more than likely he's going to be cocky. He's going to be a brat. He's going to be pompous. It's not going to be a good look. If I had a reality crew covering me at 17 years old and all of my audio with me and my friends were there for everyone to see, it wouldn't make me look good. And I wasn't the number one quarterback prospect in the nation. So I would assume that from 17-year-old Spencer Rattler to 23-year-old Spencer Rattler, who has failed, who has had to transfer, who went from being the number one guy to losing his starting job to going to a different team to all that, I would assume that has done something to humble Spencer Rattler. I don't think Spencer Rattler is the same Spencer Rattler he was when he was 17 years old. That's not to say he might still be narcissistic. He might still be cocky. He might still be all these things. I don't know. But taking a flyer on a guy whose concern is that when he was 17 years old, he was cocky, taking a flyer on that guy in the 5th round, when you also couple that with all of the physical tools that Spencer Rattler has, unbelievable value.
How much pre-draft communication did you have with the team? Was it a little bit of a surprise to see them selected, or did you kind of have an inkling that they were interested in you like this?
I'm pretty sure they had a pretty good meeting. I think the Saints and Spencer Rattler, maybe it was Rattler mentioned it, but I think someone said that they had a fantastic meeting at some point during the draft process.
I definitely knew they liked me when I had a visit there. I had an amazing time down there in New Orleans a couple weeks ago on my 30 visit. Had a great dinner with the QB coach, great meetings with the coaches. It was amazing vibes down there with everybody, and definitely clicked with them, and knew they'd be in the mix, and very happy they came and got me.
What was it that stuck out to you during that visit that made you feel that way?
I just think getting to sit down and getting to know them, talk ball, was familiar with the offense, knew the verbiage. They installed some plays, and it was just fun getting to know them, talk some ball, and be around the facility. It was a great visit. Nothing
better than just talking ball.
Spencer, you were the Senior Bowl game MVP. How much of that game and that week helped you out to put you in a position like this today?
Again, think about it. He's a Senior Bowl MVP, all right? Like I said, at the end of the day, Rattler is physically talented. He is a talented quarterback. That talent, just that natural gift, has carried him, whether it was in high school or to Oklahoma or in South Carolina. So now he can rest. He can relax a little bit. He can learn. He can develop under Derek Carr, who, say what you want about Carr, but he is a fantastic veteran quarterback to bring up a young player like Spencer Rattler. And Derek has no pressure. Derek understands, Rattler's a 5th-round pick. So he's not Michael Penix, right? So Carr is not going to feel the pressure of, I have to perform so that Spencer Rattler didn't take my job. And Spencer Rattler isn't going to feel the pressure of, I need to take this job. They can both relax, do their job. Carr can be good for the couple of years that we have him. He can tutor Rattler. Rattler can learn, all that. And then by the time that Carr, his time is done in New Orleans, which let's say it's on the same track as Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. We always say 2 years with Carr, or with Cousins. We'll say 2 years with Carr. If Carr plays 2 more years, then Rattler's, and that's it, then Rattler's going to start when he's 25 years old. Perfect. Let him sit for 2 years. Start when you're 25, rock and roll. Franchise quarterback with 2 years development under Derek Carr at 25 years old with all those physical tools. 2 years ago, he was expected to be the 1st overall pick. Whew.
That week was awesome for me. Went down there, created a lot of good relationships with players I've I've known or have played against or just got to meet. So for me, going down there was, learning that pro offense, getting that chemistry down with the guys quick throughout the week. And, it was a very successful week. We had goals going into that week that we wanted to achieve, and we checked those off. So that was one of my favorite weeks for sure.
You mentioned that on your visit, y'all talked ball, and you talked a little bit about the verbiage and everything like that. How do you feel like you fit into a system that is going to be new here in New Orleans?
I feel confident. I want to come in and learn as much as I can. Obviously, from the vets, a lot of great players in that room, a lot of great players on the team and coaches as well. So I just want to come in, soak in all the knowledge, and just work my tail off every day.
I know he's doing an interview. All right. I know he's, I know this is a very PC, sterile environment. All right. But does this sound like a cocky guy? This sounds like a guy who was humbled. Sounds like a guy who understands what he has to do. Sounds like a guy who is excited for the opportunity. Sounds like a guy who's ready to work, do what he's got to do to be a pro in the NFL. That's what this sounds like. I mean, I understand. Again, I understand that this is he's on his best behavior here, but I love it. The guy is in a 1-bed, 1-bath, talk ball only apartment. There might not even be a TV in the apartment. There might not be food in the apartment. All this in the apartment is X's and O's. I love what I'm hearing right now.
Spencer, what do you view as your own strengths, and what are the things you feel like you want to improve on coming into the league?
I feel like I'm a quarterback that can make all the throws on the field. Very accurate. Can extend with my legs, an athlete. Go get a first down, an explosive run when I need to. Can create and extend, make plays on the run. Just very confident in getting in and out the huddle and having command and leadership within the offense. And things I want to work on. I really don't want to get complacent in any area. I want to keep attacking. How can we get the ball out quicker? How can we, get better in every single area? Really break down things. And I don't want to circle one thing. I want to get better in every single area.
I believe him when he says can make every throw. I mean, if you go watch Spencer Rattler highlights and tape and all that stuff, again, physically incredibly talented. Physically can make every throw, is accurate, is athletic, can move out of the pocket, can extend plays. I mean, this is the kind of guy where he's a 5-tool player if he was in baseball. He is a legit athlete playing quarterback.
And just out of curiosity, because this is a food city, you remember where you had dinner on your 30 visit?
We just went to Fleming's.
Fleming's right there in Metairie. Boom. Fleming's right outside of the mall. That's what I'm talking about. First of all, damn, Saints, God bless, taking people to Fleming's. Fleming's is next to a Hancock Whitney Bank and a Starbucks. It is right outside of a mall parking lot. It might actually be considered in the mall parking lot, but it's like a steakhouse. I cannot believe that's where they went. Again, the humbleness. You go to Fleming's, get you onion rings as an appetizer. You're staring out the window at Fleming's. You're looking at a Hancock Whitney ATM line, and then to your right is the entrance to a Dillard's. Like that is. I mean, we really gotta. It is kind of funny where it's like, yeah, New Orleans is a big city, big food town, best food city in the world. Hey, Spencer, where'd you eat? Oh, I was actually in an ATM drive-thru eating at Fleming's.
A good little steakhouse. I had a good meal.
Damn it.
Did you already have the Saints hat? How does this work?
Yeah, they sent all the hats out, so I had it ready to go. And
I always wonder about that. I always wonder if teams know, but there's no way Spencer Rattler could have known. It's a 5th-round pick. Anything could happen. So does he just have like 40 hats? Does he just have like every hat in alternate colors and everything just waiting, and then he puts one on, throws the rest away? Like, do those hats just go where the Super Bowl runner-up T-shirts go? I've always wondered that myself. But, I mean, if he's at Fleming's, he's only about 20 feet away from a Lids. We have a Lids in the New Orleans Mall. So you can go in there and get this hat as well. Get this hat and a glazed and raisin pretzel from Auntie Anne's, and you're what a day. Spencer, the Wi-Fi. Spencer.
Whoa.
Spencer, we lost him.
Oh, there.
See, this is what I'm talking about. No Wi-Fi, no nothing. He doesn't care. What's he need? Ball. What's he need? Playbooks. What's he need? X's and O's. What's he need? Pepto-Bismol for the Flemings. for the horrific heartburn. Unreal. I mean, I love this guy. Love him.
Yeah, I think you froze up for a second, but
Unfazed.
You know, in your conversations with teams, what was the, I guess, pitch you were making to them, or what were the questions they needed answered most as they were studying through you, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, all my visits were great. You know, created a lot of good relationships. I think just getting to sit down with them and for them to see what I'm about. You know, everything is about ball and getting that. Saints saw that, and you know, I'm very happy. You know, that they picked me. You know, like I said, our visit was great, and I think we accomplished what we wanted to on that Saints visit. It was a great.
How could it not be great? Over a loaded baked potato, over a cowboy ribeye. You know, how could it not be great?
Feeling, and I knew, you know, that could definitely be a spot where I could land.
What was the wait like to hear your name called, or just how did you kind of process today, and I guess even the first few days?
That's got to be pretty crazy for like a late round pick, like a 5th round pick, where you after a certain point, I think Rattler knows he's being drafted, right? Like he knows he's not going to go undrafted. But when you're a 5th rounder, every single team is a possibility. Every single city is a possibility. Every single room, like every quarterback room, is a possibility. Every single time at a certain point, every time a team is on the podium, you're expecting to get a call. That's got to be a crazy feeling where, you know, if you are Marvin Harrison Jr., you're going into the draft, you know, okay, there's like 4 teams that could take me. This is going to be like a 20-minute situation. I'm going to kind of watch the draft, whatever, and then we're going to rock and roll. But Rattler, you're watching it, and you don't know what's going to happen. You know, I'm sure the Saints called before the pick, but it wasn't like hours before the pick. You know, they had to move around just to get there, and you never know other teams that are also trying to get Rattler. So that's got to be a wild thing for a late round pick to sit there and watch, and then finally get the call.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's a blessing to get picked wherever. You know, I knew,
true.
You know, we were waiting around a day or two, but you know, I was, you know, had faith my name would be called today, and was just looking forward to it. You know, we were going to be excited no matter what when my name was called. So was very happy that the Saints came and picked me, and what a great feeling.
What a great feeling, and it really is. You know, I'm biased, obviously, but it really is a great fit for him, like for him and the Saints. It is perfect. It's the opposite of Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. Like, first thing we heard was, the timeline doesn't match up. Cousins is pissed. Penix can't play. Unfortunate, all this other stuff. This is ideal for every single person involved. This is ideal for Derek Carr. This is ideal for Spencer Rattler. This is ideal for the future of the Saints. This is ideal for the timeline. This is ideal for everything. Absolutely everything. So, I mean, I could not be more excited about this pick. And I don't generally get excited about backup quarterbacks. I don't generally get excited about, you know, these kind of, like, I have, again, not you know, nothing personal, no hate, but I have been over and over and over and over saying, guys, Jake Haener, this is an irrelevant conversation. This is an irrelevant topic. He will never play. Like, don't, you know, this should not be the headline of a video. I'm here to tell you I'm excited about this. I'm here to tell you I'm excited about a 5th round quarterback, because I truly believe, and this could come back to haunt me, I truly believe Spencer Rattler can be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. I truly believe Spencer Rattler can be a, you know, elite, just thrown around a lot, but I think he can be a well above average starting quarterback in the NFL given a couple years to develop. I really do believe that.
It's kind of wild to see. Obviously, you were with Mike and Bo at the Senior Bowl. It's kind of wild to see that many quarterbacks go off the board at the top end of the draft like they did.
I hate whenever they ask questions like this. Like, Spencer Rattler is not an analyst. Like, Spencer Rattler, why does he care where anybody else went? Like, why does he care to see where other quarterbacks go in the draft? He's worried about where he's getting taken. He's worried about his process. He's worried about changing cities and moving and getting a new team and getting new coaching staffs. And I'm sure he could care less about where Michael Penix or Bo Nix or anybody got drafted.
You know, those are all good players, good quarterbacks. And, you know, whatever team felt like they needed to make that pick, they did. And, you know, you got to control what you can. That's something I live by. And, you know, I knew my time would come. And, just ready to get to work, take advantage.
That answer right there is, yeah, I don't know. Like that's exactly, he just said in a really polite way, I have no clue. I don't care. I'm not worried about that.
Of every opportunity.
Spencer, how do you think your career arc and the highs and lows you faced in college shaped where you are today as you?
Great question. That's Mike Triplett, I believe, asking that. That's a great question. Like that's the dichotomy of questions right there. Like you saw a question that Rattler really can't answer, and then now you see a fantastic question. This is exactly what we were talking about with the highs and lows, whether it's the high school, how lauded he was as a prospect, whether it's Oklahoma, just having to beat out Caleb Williams, then getting benched for Caleb Williams, then having to transfer, then all of a sudden you're at South Carolina. People have kind of forgot about you. You're in the SEC, but you're kind of a middling team in the SEC. Like that is a lot to go through for a quarterback, and that could break a lot of quarterbacks. That can break a lot of guys. A lot of guys can't go from being the top dog to being, kind of go through what Rattler went through.
I think it helps me coming into this level, being able to experience a little adversity early on in my college career. I think that helps,
yes,
as a quarterback, especially at this level, you're going to experience adversity if you want it or not. So I think having success, having adversity, that helps shape you as a player in person. And, I wouldn't change a thing about nothing throughout college. So
I love that.
I'm ready for the next step. I know I'm prepared.
What a fantastic answer. And I think in life, especially, starting quarterback, but I think in life, you want people who have experienced adversity. You don't want the first adversity your quarterback to feel is when he's the franchise quarterback of your team. Like you want him to feel some adversity, have to go through some challenges, some ups and downs and all that stuff. So, whether that's a quarterback, whether that's a professional athlete, whether that's someone working at your business, if you can get somebody who has seen adversity, traversed adversity, combo word there, early on a Sunday, filming this early Sunday morning. Again, guys, if you've been watching the videos, I've shredded my hip flexor, can barely walk, can't sleep. I've had to sleep sitting up in a recliner for 48 straight hours, wake up every 20 minutes, excruciating pain, having to do stretches, but we haven't missed a beat. Multiple videos every day, rocking and rolling. So excuse, Spencer looks right now how I feel. He's looking weathered. He looks, tired. Look at him. His eyeballs, don't even look like they exist. So I know how you feel, Spencer. Fight through it.
What are you most proud of over the 2 years at South Carolina and the way you're able to?
Another great question from Mike Triplett.
I just being accepted in there. It's like my home away from home now. I mean, I'm the best fan base in the country. Wow. It was amazing 2 years there. I just think back to when we beat Tennessee and Clemson back to back. Obviously that was a huge win versus Tennessee, and then beating Clemson. We haven't beat them in 7 years prior, and they had a 40-plus game home win streak to go on the road and win there back-to-back weeks. I mean, that was a great feeling. Being able to help that program trend up in the direction they want to be. Coach Beamer, couldn't be more thankful for him. He was awesome for me those 2 years there in the team. And then, Dal Loggins coming here this past year, he helped me a lot. And, I had a great 2 years there.
That's something else too. Like you can go to South Carolina if you're Spencer Rattler, and you can have a bad attitude, and you can be, you can think you shouldn't be there. You can think you're supposed to be Heisman. You're supposed to be, first round pick. You're supposed to be Mr. Hollywood. You're supposed to be NIL, millions of dollars. You're supposed to be doing all this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be around. That can be your attitude. But for him to go there and then accept, not only just, okay, here's my situation, but to say, hey, it's my home away from home. I love the best fan base in the world. You're taking pride in beating Tennessee, taking pride in beating Clemson. Like that shows a lot of emotional growth as well.
And where have you improved most as a quarterback in those 2 years?
Mm-hmm. When Coach Loggins came in, we had a list of goals that we wanted to improve on. It was protect the ball, use your legs because you are athletic, and just be precise, be efficient. I had a little too many turnovers in 22. We cut the interceptions down to 6 in 2023. Had too many fumbles I didn't need in 22. We had 0 fumbles this past year.
There you go.
I am an athlete and can use my legs. I wanted to show that this past year. And, I think we did that. Show we can tuck it and go and help the team get some first downs, some explosive runs. So you've got to have that dynamic as a quarterback as well. And then just efficiency. I felt like as a group, we were very efficient, explosive. And, we definitely took steps in those areas this past year.
Hey, Spencer, do you work with a personal quarterback coach? And if so, who?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's here right now. Mike Giovando. Been with him since I was 11, 12 years old out here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Boom. Mike Giovando, personal quarterback coach. He says he's here right now. Mike is basically probably locked into one of these rooms at this, training facility / compound / I'm not even sure what you'd call this place we're seeing right now. But Mike Giovando is probably just locked in the room. Spencer goes in there, gets some reps in, and that's it. Slide some food under the door to Mike, and then boom, they're right back at it. So love that. He's here. Boom, he's here right now. Bam.
So credit a lot of my success to him.
We've been shout out to Mike. Bring him to New Orleans
for over
Bring
10
him
years.
to Fleming's.
So it's good we're here now.
In that same vein, have you been to the Manning camp or anything like that?
Yep.
I was about to say, I'm sure he has. So that was Nick Underhill asking that one. Yeah, the Manning Passing Academy / Manning Camp is a big camp, obviously New Orleans for quarterbacks. Rattler being the best high school quarterback, I'm sure went to all those camps. I'm pretty sure he won the Elite 11, which is a hugely glorified high school. I think it's high school. It's either high school or incoming freshman. Like once you declare to a school, then I think you go to the camp. It's one of those two. But I'm pretty sure and there's always a winner. You always win the Elite 11 quarterback camp, and the winners, like to say you won it is a huge, huge honor. I'm pretty sure Clay Kubnick won it at Clemson. And when he was there, going to Clemson, all I heard was, hey, this is the guy who won the Elite 11. This is the guy. And at that time, DJ, I'm going to mess up his last name, but we know what I'm talking about. Transferred to Oregon State. At the time, he was Clemson's quarterback. And people were telling me, Klubnik is going to beat out DJ because Klubnik is the Elite 11 winner. So Rattler won it. Rattler is one of the there's probably only like 10, 11 guys at this time ever that have won that award. So again, that shows you how talented Rattler was. But I'm sure he went to every quarterback camp in the nation, including the Manning camp.
It's a full circle world. Archie Manning would text me every week throughout the season, just checking up on me, saying congrats, keep your head in there, whatever it was. He's always been in my corner ever since I went to the Manning camp 2 years ago down there in Thibodaux. Amazing family, love Archie. Being able to have that relationship, I think it's awesome, and just blessed to be picked where he's a legend.
Full circle. It really is full circle. Manning Passing Academy, future Saints franchise quarterback. Love to hear it. Every time I think about the Manning Passing Academy, my boy, if he's watching, Tyler Moffitt, back in high school, he went to the Manning Passing Academy. He played like left guard in high school, and he went to the Manning Passing Academy, did some quarterback drills. And every time I think about the Manning Passing Camp, I think about him. I always imagine, I wonder what it was like for a guy who played left guard in high school to be at the Manning Passing Academy with all these stud quarterbacks, and he's trying to go through QB drills with Eli, with Eli and Peyton watching.
Spencer, what's your weekend been like? Have you been glued to the TV like Thursday night, last night? Did you have a party get together today?
Yeah, Thursday we did something small and, just had the family here, just watched the TV. Friday, the same thing. And then, got a group of family here as well. People close to me that helped me get me approved. And just got all the day ones here, family and friends. And, we've just been watching the TV, like you said, just waiting for that moment. And it came. So we're all happy.
I'll tell you who was not there, who was not invited, the Wi-Fi technician. What the hell? Yeah, we got some light, some insane sunlight pulsating through the studio windows here. Jesus. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. That is the first look at Spencer Rattler, the future Saints franchise quarterback. Get on down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. If you're excited for the pick, if you're as excited as I am, shouts to Fleming's. We'll see you in the next video.